Well, thank you for staying with us here at 5:30. I'm Tim Lammers. Let's get right to the news here. In one of the latest laws put into effect by Governor Lamont, there are now new restrictions for police officers when it comes to handcuffing kids. People under the age of 14 who are cooperative and not dangerous will no longer allowed to be handcuffed. Fox 61's Joe Monti spoke with police about some of the upcoming changes.
A new Connecticut law limits who police can handcuff if they're under the age of 14. Police say it applies to each situation a little differently.
This is not a black and white provision against handcuffing anyone under 14. There's a provision in the law that spells out 3 circumstances as long as police articulate and document that there's a threat to officer safety, if the juvenile is fighting with the officer or makes comments that they're not going to go willingly, or any threat to the juvenile's safety or any threat to public safety.
Captain Palmer with Suffield Police agrees. He says the new law doesn't make handcuffs off limits. Nonviolent and cooperative kids rarely found themselves in handcuffs before the law. However, it does happen on occasion in situations where police need to take precaution. But now there are rules against it to ensure that it doesn't happen, or at least not for long.
You go to a call and you realize, hey, there's a degree of chaos here. I'm going to handcuff that person until I figure out what's going on. Those investigative detentions are authorized. In the case of the statute as it reads effective October 1st, if we know that person to be under 14 years of age, or when it comes to our attention, then we would have to take the restraints off.
Palmer says there are ways for police to identify the age of a young person, including through schools and their parents. People I spoke to say they're happy with the new law. They say kids who aren't violent or dangerous shouldn't have to experience being handcuffed.
I think it's a very good thing. I don't think children should be traumatized with something like that.
I don't think children should ever be treated like that, unless, of course, they are violent or, in that situation.
Kilgore is a nurse and understands that some kids can be big and appear older than they seem. She also says they're not incapable of being dangerous. She agrees with the law and understands police have a job to do.
I'm not saying that people should treat them like they are never a threat, because that would be, foolish for anyone to assume. Use judgment, professional judgment.
Police departments like Naugatuck and Suffield are already making efforts to prepare officers for the policy change.
There's been a lot of changes in law enforcement in the last 4 or 5 years that affect the procedures that police officers do on a daily basis. This is just another one of them.
It's not as simple as, hey, we can't use handcuffs on 14-year-olds anymore. There's a whole administrative piece that has to be adjusted. There's a training piece that we have to get into. And then from a practical standpoint, what does it mean out on the road?
Captain Palmer says it takes time to make adjustments to new policy. Police departments need to be in full coordination with the new law by the beginning of October. In Suffield, Joe Monti, Fox 61.